What's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on for Mine here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Bluffton Tech Dynasty here on EA College Football 25. It was no secret that our non-conference slate was absolutely rough. Going in at 0-4, while it was something that we expected, is disheartening, but now we focus on the most important part of our season, and that is conference play. In today's episode, we will open our season up against the Akron Zips, and on paper, we actually should be pretty even. They're a 74 overall team, while we're a 69 overall team, so this is a very winnable game, and I have a feeling that we'll have multiple winnable games on the schedule from here on out, because if you can see what the conference standings are looking like as we're getting ready to embark on this journey, you'll see quite a few teams that haven't won a single game yet either. Ball State, Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, Ohio, all teams that are trying and failing to win their current any games this season. And matter of fact, only one team is above 500, and that's Central Michigan. So that's kind of what the conference is looking like here in year number one. But we gotta handle business here, and we gotta make sure that we don't have as many mistakes, because we can definitely lose this game as well if we don't come focused and if we don't come ready to go. So here's to hoping that we can get our first win of the series. Let's see if we can get it in our MAC opener against the Akron Zips. But I hope you guys are excited for this video. If you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you have to be brand new to the channel and love what you see. But now let's go down to the field to see what it is about Akron football. Let's see what they're made of.
Ohio, and home of the Akron Zips, where the fans have been eagerly anticipating this matchup, one that could call back the glory days once seen in the old Rubber Bowl. Today, an intra-conference battle between a couple of MAC rivals.
Alright boys, so on the road here in the Rubber Bowl, as we're going to go ahead and get things started here as we try to set up an RPO action, but it's going to be incomplete. Just trying to get that set up there quickly, but can't make it happen. So instead, we are going to be looking at a 2nd and 10, and didn't like the look that I originally had, so I did make it audible at the line of scrimmage. Akron makes some adjustments of their own, and I'm able to find our receiver, Chris Gentry, who gets pile drive into the ground. Not sure how that isn't some kind of like roughing penalty or something. Like, you know, we got to get some calls here, man. Like, we are already down horrendous, and it's going to get worse. Trying to set the pitch out to Will Peoples, and it's not on target at all. Oh, no. Eventually, it turns into a field goal, and so Akron's going to quickly take a 3-0 lead. As for the next possession for us, we end up going 3 and out, so we had to hand the football back over to the Akron Zips. And this is a big moment here early in this game. Do not want to allow Akron to get into the end zone for the second time. They're going to run it with their tailback, who goes up the middle. Doesn't find a ton of yardage there, but Charles Keelam, who gets his first carry today, he's going to make this a much more manageable 2nd down. As Ben Finley will make an adjustment at the line. He's going to hand it off to the tailback again and runs into a gang of tacklers. Looks like Xavier Wilson was there on the scene first, followed by Nate Foreman. As now the Akron Zips look like they have put together a little bit of a drive. 1st and 10. Going to try to throw downfield. Got a receiver, but we broke it up. Nice little recovery speed as we didn't allow Faison Wilson to make a big play right on our heads. And now we're going to be looking at a 2nd and 10 instead. Akron's going to drop back on their 2nd and 10 as they're looking to go downfield, but runs into pressure. Our pass rush is able to get to him. And it was multiple guys there to help out with that particular effort. That was handled initially by Kobe Garland. And eventually does set up a 3rd and 18. So just don't get beat deep. That's really all we got to do. Literally don't get beat deep. We're okay. And that's exactly what happened here. We, in fact, did not get beat deep at all. And we will force Akron to settle for yet another field goal late in this first quarter of action. Kick is going to be up in the air, and this one's going to be good. So the field goal attempt is going to be all right. And so Akron is going to be up 6-0. But we'll try to get some sort of rhythm going out here offensively as Armstrong's getting ready to go to work as Armstrong lines up in the pocket. Going to set up with a play action. He's got plenty of time initially. Looks over the middle and finds his tight end. That is going to be Scott McClure. Scott McClure with a 21-yard scamper. And Bluffton Tech starting to heat up a little bit, but on a 3rd and long, trying to move the chains desperately as we get it to our backup, Keontae Tyson. He doesn't go anywhere with it. And listen, 4th and short. Listen, we can't afford to be a little bit conservative. This might be an aggressive call, but gosh darn it, we're going to go for it here. Armstrong's going to drop back. We got an open receiver, and Chris Gentry is going to be able to make the catch and move the sticks. A couple of plays later, as we now find ourselves in Akron territory, we're going to dump it off to the tailback as Will Peoples is able to get a few yards there as we will be taken into the end of the first quarter. Right now, we're right in the thick of things, even though we are losing the initial turnover battle. Just got to take better care of the ball, and I think we're going to be just fine. So let's see if we can follow our own advice as we're going to be facing 3rd and 3. As Armstrong's going to drop back. It's going to be a holding penalty, so just went ahead and stepped forward because I would rather have like a 4th and short than like a 3rd and 13, to be honest with you. Because at least like at 4th and 5, I feel a little bit better about trying to get this 4th down conversion than trying to pick up 13 yards on a couple of plays. But we tried to dump it off the Scooter Page, and he is going to be marked short of the 1st down. And so that means Akron will indeed end up taking over. Nash Berthe going deep downfield, and it's gonna find his receiver. That's Vason Wilson with a 54-yard grab. And Akron is gonna smell blood in the water, and they're gonna go into their turbo offense. Looking to get our team off balance here. We'll see what Akron decides to go with as Ben Finley is going to make some audibles at the line of scrimmage, trying to run it over to the right hand side, and it's an open field. Touchdown, Akron! And the Zips of Akron are going to expand on their lead, and we already find ourselves down 13-0. Not where we wanted to be, but what we are going to have to deal with, though. So a 13-0 ball game. As now Akron's going to look to go to work yet again as they're going to throw again over the middle. Just not being that sharp here defensively. And it doesn't help that our offense had another 3 and out as well. So here we are early in the second quarter, and this is a danger spot for us here. I'm not going to lie to you. This game could get really out of hand as Pace gets lost in coverage there. I don't know how you get lost on man coverage. Maybe expected to go with the slant, but instead it's just a simple go ball. And it ends up being one of the easiest touchdowns that young man is going to have all season long. And this is when you know nothing's going right. We had Nash Berthe right where that quarterback was going to scramble, and yet still able to pick up a 1st down anyways. Just ran right past him. Don't even know what we're doing right now, if we're being honest with you, but it's good. It just really is a microcosm of our early season so far. Just really can't do much of anything right at the moment, but we will be looking at 3rd and 6 instead. As now, let's see if we can get this offense off the field. 3rd and 6. Akron's going to try to set up the halfback screen. Running backs got just enough space to pick up that 1st down. Nate Freeman could not get there soon enough. And it'll be a brand new set of sticks for the Akron Zips as their drive will continue. This time running to the right-hand side. This is a danger zone, but Solomon thankfully there to fill things up as Charles Coulomb nearly picks up the first down. That's his first really nice run today. He's only had a few carries so far. Let's see if they go back to him. And sure enough, they don't. They're going to go with a play action instead. And Jake Newell, who does end up being shaken up on the play, ends up holding on and making the grab. And it sets Akron up inside the 10-yard line, where once again, they're going to be on a goal line opportunity. Going to try to set up the RPO, and that's going to go to being successful as the RPO works to perfection as Akron finds the end zone yet again. It's going to be a touchdown for the Akron Zips. And once more, we will see them with a 27-0 lead. And that's just one half. That is honestly just one half of football where it was just one of those days where nothing, and I mean nothing, has gone right for us here in this first half at all. We are down. We're not just down bad. We're just down horrendous. As now 30-0 is your score, as we'll see this Akron team get ready to go to work. As Marquise Williams is able to pick up the first down. As now 3rd and 9 coming up. Finley looking to pick up the sticks yet again. And look at this, another completion. Can we stop a 3rd and long, please? Like, what are we actually doing right now? This is wild to me. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 11 as that's going to be broken up. Hey, we're able to get a stop on defense. Thank goodness, man. We need some points. We really need some points right now. We'll see if we can get some points here as that is completed by Foreman, but it's an illegal touching. He must have stepped out of bounds right before we threw the ball over to him, and that's a tough break because we are losing the penalty battle as well. We're pretty much losing in any notable category, let's be honest with ourselves, but here's something that could spark our offense though. Will Peoples is able to get the first down there. It's been hard for Will Peoples to find any kind of running room, but able to do exactly that there. Is now 1st and 10 coming up for the Fighting Muskrats as Armstrong will look, is facing pressure right away up the middle, and that was just our offensive lineman losing at the line of scrimmage there. As now we'll do a 2nd and 10, try to set up the screen once again, as this time we are able to get it off. We got some blocks downfield. See if, oh, what a juke for Will Peoples as he's able to get across the 40-yard line. First down, Muskrats. And the Fighting Muskrats are trying to get on the board for the very first time today. Armstrong looks again over the middle, tries to throw on a 3rd and short, but Scooter Page can't make anyone miss. And I'm going to be honest with you, down by 30. It's a 4th and 4, deep in Akron territory. And I don't trust my kicker from 50 yards out. So we're going to bring the offense out here yet again, as Armstrong's going to look to throw over to the right-hand side and threw that early. Threw it with too much touch there, but it wouldn't have mattered because there is a holding penalty, so we would have been forced upon anyways. And after that, we just kind of simmed towards the end of the game, see if some backups can get some playing time. And we got crushed. We got crushed 37-14. And this is the type of game that brings a lot more questions than answers for us. I'm honestly at a loss for words, right? I truly am, because here's my thing, right? I could handle being blown out by Texas A&M. I could handle being blown out by Penn State. Akron, though? Are we kidding me right now? It was a frustrating day. I expected our team to be a lot better. Win, you know, that I don't want to like chalk this in as a win by any means, because we are the lower overall team. I get that. I totally understand that. But that being said, though, 37-14, getting blown out like this is a tough pill to swallow. We might not win a game this season. I'm going to be honest with you guys here today. That being said, DJ Armstrong, he didn't turn the ball over. 13 for 25, 114 yards, no touchdowns. The fumble wasn't really his fault. I'm not sure what happened there. But Tylen Olsen did come in during mop-up duty. He did throw a couple of touchdown passes, so that's cool. But, I mean, like, we didn't do that in garbage time, so that's a problem. And Will Peoples, again, the game script goes away from Will Peoples as well, so couldn't really get him involved in this game, and therefore don't want to get the running game going, which is a huge problem for us, which means it requires us to have an offensive line, which is a whole nother conversation. Scooter Page was good, 6 catches, 45 yards. Chris Gentry, he had was a bright spot for 5 for 51. Will Peoples had a couple of catches as well, and then Javon Moore and CJ Peaks did end up scoring when the game was completely out of hand. Blocking, listen, I know it mentions that we have more pancakes than sacks, but I mean, so many penalties, dude. Like, it was crazy how many penalties that we had in this game, and it just goes to show we really need to improve our offensive line. Defensively, I mean, we just fell apart in the second quarter as well. Xavier Wilson did lead the team in tackles with 8 solo tackles. Chase Freeman, our star linebacker, had 7. We did have 1 sack today. Taj Coles and Kobe Garland did end up combining on a sack, but of course we did not have any turnovers. And while we didn't turn the ball over a ton ourselves, I mean, it was just a complete shit show here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But I have absolutely no idea how we went about pulling this off, but we did end up getting a coaching upgrade at least. I thought about going for tactician here, but my thing for tactician was, like, we already have one of our coaches like here with the tactician, so I think I'm going to continue to put it in recruiting. I think that's where we really need it, and I think I want to go ahead and continue to put it on our offensive line because it's very clear we absolutely need it. There's no questions about that. And then I also want to go and do an advanced look at defensive linemen as well, because it's clear after this game we gotta get better in the trenches. There's no question about it. So what I ended up deciding to do after that is that we did ended up hopping into just the moment specifically in our next game, which ended up being against Northern Illinois. We'll see if we could play a little bit better here as we'll start our first drive of the game. And, you know, it's hard to have any kind of momentum, and it actually wasn't even a bad run. Like, Will Peoples had a good run that was going to set us up with 2nd and short. It's been that kind of season. You know, we can't run the ball consistently. We certainly can't pass the ball with any kind of certain consistency. And we just continue to shoot ourselves in the foot time in and time out. And so Northern Illinois is going to have a chance to go and gather that early lead. But we got some work to do for sure, though. 3rd and short coming up here as Northern Illinois looking to try and pick up this first down. Let's see if we can goal line stand them, though. But instead, it's going to be this tailback looking to get just barely to the first down marker. We've been so close to making these plays, and yet we simply cannot get out there and get it done. Instead, it's going to be 1st and goal, where I imagine the Huskies, they're going to try to run it again. They fake the jet sweep. We can't get a hand on this guy, and Northern Illinois is going to find the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. And your Fighting Muskrats will quickly find themselves down 7-0. So we'll look to try to respond here late in the first quarter as DJ Armstrong's trying to cook up a little bit of a drive as we want to go with the halfback draw. Will Peoples initially gets stuck at the line of scrimmage, but is able to sneak out of there. We're able to move the sticks for the first down, and it'll eventually lead us into a goal line opportunity where we do have a chance to tie this game up late in the first quarter. And sure enough, Keontae Tyson is going to find the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Muskrats. And just like that, we are going to be tied up against Northern Illinois and trying to desperately get that first win of the season. This is not a bad way to start things off at all. But later on in the game, Northern Illinois would end up getting a safety, so we would find ourselves down 9-7. This is Maction at its finest. As now 2nd and 9 coming up here as we got a flag on the play here. Hold up now. Wait a minute. It's going to be a false start, and we get a penalty against the other team. Hallelujah. I think that's the first penalty that I've seen from a team not us in this whole episode so far. That's crazy to me. So, going to be a 2nd and 14 instead, where they go with the jet pass. Oh, they got us bamboozled there. And they get all of that penalty yardage back and then some, as that will take the Huskies into the 2-minute warning. As now it's going to be a 3rd and 2 instead, as we're going to be, oh, we're right there. I wanted the interception. I'll take the incompletion, but I really wanted that interception there. Nash Birthday certainly came with some pretty bad intentions there. And we'll force NIU to settle for the field goal as it bounces off. The field goal attempt is no good. So it stays 9-7. And less than 2 minutes left. We have a chance to take the lead before we go into halftime. As Armstrong tries to throw it out to the corner. Wanted Scooter Page, but he was hit as he threw. And so it's going to be incomplete. We're now 3rd and 7. Trying to pick up the first down. And we can't get it there. Big decision here. This would be ballsy if we decided to go for it. And you know what? We will. We're going to try to run it down the gut with our tailback. Let's see if we can get it. And sure enough, we do. Great burst by our interior offensive line. And now we're going to go into our no huddle here of our own. 1st and 10. Armstrong drops back. Once somebody out there is going to dump it off to our, looks like one of our backup running backs, Keontae Tyson. So that means we'll use our first timeout of the half. Able to pick up a few yards from that, a positive play. You love to see it. As now, 2nd and 5 coming up. This time, having a little bit more time. But man, oh man. We cannot. We got real lucky there. I got scared for a second because I threw that one late. I absolutely 100% threw that one late. As now, 3rd and 5 coming up as Armstrong's looking. He's going to go ahead and try to get to the outside. Gets away from one defender and runs out of bounds. Late hit, ref, but no penalty there on the sideline. The Bluffton Tech faithful don't really like that one. As now we'll have 1st and 10. Trying to throw again down the middle, but it's incomplete. It's going to be a batted ball instead. And so we're going to be facing 2nd and 10 instead. So 2nd and 10 for the Fighting Muskrats as we get back to the line of scrimmage as Armstrong's going to drop back. Looks to the right hand side, and that's going to be broken up. We want to get that one out to Chris Gentry to see if he can work a little bit of magic. But can't quite happen there as we'll face a 3rd and 10 instead. As Armstrong will look over the middle of the field, and it's going to be popped out. Oh, we need you to make that catch for us. And I think this time around, we're going to just simply punt this ball away because, listen, I mean, such a 4th and 10. That wasn't going to be an easy one for us to convert whatsoever. Eventually, off screen, North Illinois is able to get multiple field goals. So now with 5:35 left to play in the game, we're down by 2 possessions here. So let's see if we can lead some kind of miracle of a drive, and this would certainly help us out. Able to get down to the sideline and pick up the first down. We're going to need a few more of those throws if we want to come back and win our first game of the series. Armstrong again looking to scramble upfield. Is going to slide down right in front of the safety. And that'll get us into a goal line situation essentially as we'll try to throw to right hand side, but going to mark us just short of the first down. As we're going to be looking at a 4th and 1. And you already know what time it is. This particular play gave us some success earlier in the day. But this time around, it's going to be denied. Our fullback missed the block there. That block was picked up. We would have had the touchdown. And maybe this would have been a different story. But failing that 4th down conversion is going to seal the deal. And so we lose not 1 game, but 2 games in this episode, still searching for that first win of the year. So while this was our best defensive game that we were able to put together all season long, offensively, once again, we couldn't get really anything going here. I mean, for most of the offensive categories, that is going to favor Northern Illinois. It also doesn't help when, even outside of those moments, we had 3 turnovers, and that's just simply not going to cut it either because our margin of error is just so small. And DJ Armstrong in particular struggled in this one, going just 13 for 30, 123 yards and 2 interceptions. It's not always his fault. I know his offensive line doesn't do a great job protecting him, but he's got to do a better job taking care of the ball in spite of those conditions. In addition, once again, we couldn't get the ground game going, although DJ Armstrong had some promising runs, averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Keontae Tyson was able to find the end zone, though, and he was able to get one of his first touchdowns of the year. Receiving-wise, Will Peoples actually led the team in catches with 4 catches and 35 yards. That's going to happen when we don't have a great offensive line. Javion Foreman and Scott McQuarrie were also able to make multiple catches. Javion Foreman in particular did lead the team here today. Defensively, listen, this is not the defense's fault. The defense did a great job today. Taj Cole led the team in tackles. He had 9 tackles. Nash Berthe actually had 8 tackles himself. So, I mean, the defense came to play. Jurian Love got a sack, so it was cool to see Jurian Love get a sack, but we didn't force any turnovers, and with how we struggle offensively, I mean, it sucks, but like our defense has to do more in terms of the turnover department. Otherwise, we're going to struggle in basically all of the games that we play in this year, and that's been pretty evident as we reach the halfway mark. However, we do see Taj Coles get recognized as MAC Defensive Player of the Week. His 8 tackles was good enough to be recognized by the conference. I just wish that it would have led to a victory on our end. So we continue to desperately search for our first win of the year and our first win in program history, as now we continue our MAC play. Next episode, we will get to be at home, but we will be taking on the Golden Flashes of Kent State. Kent State undefeated in MAC play. But we certainly got some work to do if we want to win some games and be successful as a program. So here's hoping that we can find a way to figure it out. But thank you guys so much for supporting this series. It has been a challenge, but hey, it has been fun to compete with the grind. We're not going to run away with it over here. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. Hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.